Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. You know, often you've wondered, should I be backing up my Google Photos off the Google Photos cloud in Google? How would you do that? Well, Drew King has an answer for you, and today we're going to talk about using the GUI for ℸ𝕉𝑚 to back up your Google Photos onto a other cloud drive. I want to take this opportunity to thank Drew for doing this. If anyone in the audience would like to participate, if you have an idea and you think you could maybe do a little demonstration, we would be more than happy to help you get that on the show. We really encourage audience participation, and I want to thank Drew King so much for taking up the challenge and giving us this presentation today. Now, ℸ𝕉𝑚 is a single command line program, and on Windows, Mac OS, and Linux, the entire program is just a single file. On Windows, the download is a zip file that contains the executable ℸ𝕉𝑚.exe. Now, ℸ𝕉𝕉𝑚 is not exclusively for backing up Google Photos. It can connect to and synchronize files over 50 cloud providers. It also supports encryption for those who want to store their personal data in an encrypted format in the cloud. When you install the Windows app, in settings there is an option to tell it what directory you unzipped the file into so you can find it and use it. Below is the website that you can find to download the file for installation. Now, once the ℸ𝕉𝕉 Explorer for Windows app is installed and set up, there is in the lower left-hand corner a button labeled Config. And that is the button that you use to create your connection to Google Photos. It walks you through the steps, and during that setup, it will give you authenticate and grant permission for the software to access your photos. In Windows, you can map a regular drive letter to your OneDrive. For example, by default, Windows only allows you to use one personal OneDrive account, and this software lets you use as many as you want to. Now let's have a look at the video.
Hello, this is a very quick introduction to a program that is not new, however it is new to me. And it is called the GUI for ℸ𝕉𝕉. ℸ𝕉𝕉 is an application that we have been talking about for a while that I use, among other things, to back up my Google Photos. This is an application that has a nice graphical user interface, and it makes ℸ𝕉𝕉 a lot easier to use. And I'm going to give you a very quick tour of how to back up Google Photos and see if this might be something that I can interest the group in. These are on the left column here, all of my remotes, and I have one called DK Photo. And if I double click on DK Photo, it opens up to a new tab, and you'll see that I have the two that are important to me are Album and Media. Album is going to expand into a list of all of my albums. If I want to do a backup of my album called Abby, who's my dog, all I have to do is select Abby and then click on the download button. And the source is already filled in and the destination is filled in because I've done this before. But I've chosen in my home folder to create a folder called gpics and Abby. And if I had an external hard drive, I could put them there. If I click on Run, it will download to my computer all of the pictures in that particular album. If, however, I want to back up media, you can see that there are now 4 options, all, by day, by month, or by year. These are all available from the command line as well. However, using the graphical interface like this is much easier. If I were to click here and then click download, it would make, if I ran this job, it would make a download of all of my pictures of all time. Not going to do that right now. If I have a particular day that I'm interested in, I can expand this and it will show me all of the years. And I can say 2021, and it shows all of the days of the year. And I can click on any one of these days and it will back up the photos from that particular day. If I want to click on by month and expand that, it's going to show me again, it's going to show me all of my years. And then if I expand on, say, 2017, it's going to show me all of the months. And let's say I want to back up September of 2017. Once again, all I have to do is click on the download button and tell it to run. And it will make a copy of all of my photos from September of 2017. This can be really handy for photographers that want to back up their photos for a specific, or on a specific day. They might have done a specific type of photograph and they want all of those together. The other option which is by year. And again, it shows all of the years. And if I were to click on the to expand it, it's actually going to try and pull up a list of all of the photos from 2013. You can see I didn't do much in 2013. I'm not a big photographer, but that's what I did in 2013. Anyway, this is tended to be a short overview of the GUI for 𝕑𝕉. The downside is whoever developed this is no longer working on it, so it is a few years old. However, it works, and I can do all kinds of nice things. If I go to my remotes, I can say config, and it brings up essentially what is the DOS command prompt, where you can go in and configure remotes. And we'll skip over this. And that's all I want to talk about for this video, so I want to keep it short. And anyway, this is the GUI for 𝕑𝕉.
Well, hello, everybody. I'm Chris with Geeks on Tour.
And I'm Jim, and messing with technology is what I do.
If it never breaks, you're not trying hard enough.
This is true.
So this is Fun with Photos. And we had a lot of fun with photos last week because we were in Hawaii and there was a group of us, 14 people. So today I'm going to talk about what are group photo albums and how do they work. So in this image here, you see that there are a bunch of photos and each one has a name in the lower left-hand corner. That's the person who contributed that photo to the album. You can look at a group album. Now, I'm using Google Photos here. This can be done with some other systems. I think Google Photos does it the best. And that's what I use. In Google Photos, you have your choice of looking at either the album view, which shows all the photos in date order, or the activity view, which shows you what the latest thing that happened on the album was, be it a new photo from somebody, or be it a comment or a like by somebody. So it gives you a whole conversation area as well as just a set of photos. and you can view it one way or the other. I will show you that. Now, one question is, who do the photos belong to? Well, the album, assuming that I make the album and I made this Hawaii album, the album belongs to me. I am the owner. I can do things, I can delete photos, I can remove people from the album. But if you contributed a photo, say Bonnie contributed a photo, she owns that photo. Now I can save that photo to my library, in which case I now own that copy. So if you contribute a photo to a group album, know that you are giving people permission to own a copy of your photo. But it still maintains the information about who shared it. I can only edit photos that I own. So let me show you a little bit of this. I am going to go to my Google Photos, and here is our Hawaii Cruise with Geeks. Now, I started this album before the cruise even started, and I asked people to put in some photos of themselves and introduce themselves. So you can see that this one is contributed by Linda Barchman, and this one is Bonnie, Joellen, Chris, Aaron. It is just such a rich experience. Now we are on the trip. This is a tour around Oahu. This photo was contributed by Linda Belcher. And look at that green mountain. Just loved it. Now, if I want to see any of the comments, notice that this picture has a comment on it. I click on the picture, and now I see the activity that goes along with that picture. Nice job with the long exposure. You can bet there was some experimenting with photos and some teaching about photos going on this trip. I can back out then to the whole album, or I can see all the activity by clicking on this little chat icon. Now on a computer, you see the activity over on the right-hand side and the album on the left. On a phone, you have to choose. You see either the activity or the album. All right, and every time there is activity, if you have joined the album, you get a notification. So you see what is going on in real time. And people would contribute photos each day, every morning, every afternoon. So people went different places. So here, for example, is a turtle. I didn't see any turtles. This photo was contributed by Aaron. Now, I told you that I can edit my own photo. Chris Guld, this one is mine, and there is the edit button. I can do things to this photo. I don't need to, so I'm going to click X, but editing is available. Now, on this picture of the turtle, this one belongs to Aaron. I cannot edit Aaron's photo. However, I can save it. If I save it, there is now a copy of this turtle photo in my photo library. I still can't edit this photo, but if I went to my library and found this turtle picture, I could edit it there. All right, next slide. So then how do you create a group album? Well, if you've ever created an album in Google Photos, it's the same thing. You just create an album and then you share that album. When somebody else joins, it is now a group album. So let me show you how that goes. I'm going to go back to Google Photos and I will select, we took a selfie during the show here. And let's say I want to make an album to share with you all, with the Tech for Seniors group. I open that one photo, I click the three dots and add to album, and I make a new album. And I call it Tech for Senior Samples. And I'm done. I now have an album. How do I share it with you? I click the share button, and I could invite people individually, but it's so much easier to just create a link to the album. I copy the link, and now I'm going to paste that link into the chat for this Zoom meeting. And there you go. Everybody should now be able to follow along with the rest by going to that link in the Zoom meeting. But that's using your computer where you're on this Zoom meeting. What if you wanted to use your phone to follow along? Well, I can make a QR code. There's lots of ways to make a QR code. I'm going to do it the easiest way and go to a incognito window, paste that link that I just copied. Now, when I click up on the title bar, I have the option to make a QR code. And I'll leave that on the screen while I go to the phones now. So here is my phone on the right. And I just want to show you that I can see that same album. The album is in my library because I own it. There is the Tech for Senior samples. There's one picture on it. Now, this is Jim's phone. How is he going to get the link to that album? He just scans the QR code. So I will do that with his phone.
Find the camera.
Find the camera. Everybody's phone is so different. So I'm just scanning the code from the computer screen. And now his phone is seeing the Tech for Senior samples. Now you don't have to use Google Photos for this to work. You do have to have a Google account. So if you've never used Google Photos and you log in here, it will say join. And now oh, look at that. So, see, some other people, Bob, Huey, have already added photos.
Just by scanning the QR code.
Well, they clicked the link, and did it on the computer. I scan the QR code. This is Jim's phone, and I just tap add photos. And he also took a photo at the beginning of the meeting, and I just select that photo and tap add. And every time a new photo was added, notice I get a notification and it's just buzzing away here. So is that cool or what? We were on this trip, and during the day, people went in different directions. We didn't all do the same thing. So we didn't go to the ℙ𝕖𝕒𝕃 crater, but because Bonnie did, we saw photos of it and we saw it right away. Okay. And so that's creating a group album. There's nothing special about it. You just create an album and then share it. You can share it with a link. You can share it with a QR code of that link. And once people have the link, they can add their own photos. Once they've started adding their own photos and they go back to Google Photos, they find the album under the sharing button. Okay. And if you use iCloud and don't use Google Photos, I wrote an article. You can add photos to this album as well. There's a couple extra steps. If you go to geeksontour.com/adding-iCloud, you can read all about it. As the owner, I can turn off collaboration. I mean, if this link got out to the world, somebody might add some photos that aren't right. What I would do is go into the options of this album, and I can, oh, I'm in the wrong screen here. I go to the options of the album, the Tech for Seniors that I just made, and options, And it's this one right here that allows people to add photos to it, collaborate. If I turn that off, nobody can add any photos anymore. But I can turn it back on. I will later. Have any time that you have a group get together and there's things to take pictures of, try using a group photo album. You'll like it. Back to you.
You're working away, you have multiple tabs open, and suddenly the music starts. You have no idea which tab the music's coming from. Let me show you how easy it is today in a Chrome browser to figure that out and stop it. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior, where we make videos to help seniors understand technology. Now, you remember the like and subscribe thing? If you'd like to learn about future videos we make, please click the subscribe and notification, and we'll send you a note when we make a new video. Now let's find out which tab is creating that annoying music you want to stop.
Dual reader.
That means I
simply
can
provides
click on
extra
it
peace of
and
mind,
then post it with
especially
my name.
for valuable or
And
sensitive.
Help, this
what
is
gives
driving
a
me
lot of
crazy. There's
traction.
too many
I can
people
just
talking.
like
There's too many
I was
tabs
surprised
open.
share
Everyone's
that have
got
a
something
certain
going on here.
potential
I gotta stop this.
Dislike
What
will
tabs
turn
do I close? This is
Or
driving me
turn on
nuts.
to tell you that
pretty
search
much what
protects
Twitter
you.
is about.
Well, that was a terrible situation to be in. Have you ever had the situation where you've had multiple tabs open on the top of your Chrome browser, and all of a sudden something starts playing? Now that could have been music, but we were using it as different YouTube videos. But all of a sudden something starts playing. You may have 2 or 3 channels playing all at once. And because you have so many tabs open, let's look at the top here as I take you up on the top here. You'll see that how many tabs. I have Google News. I have a bunch of news websites open. There's a video here, more sites open, and a video here. And if we look off to the right, there'll be more tabs open. So all of a sudden something starts playing and you have no idea what to do. You're just, oh my gosh, where do I stop? How do I figure all this out? Well, what I want to do is I want to show you a little trick. Something, this has actually been around for about a year. I want you to come over on the top here, and what I want you to notice is if we come way over to the right, you're going to see this little control for music, video, and more. Now you will all have this in your Chrome browser, but if you go and look now, you won't see it, because it only shows up if you have tabs open that play audio, right? That could be music, could be anything that contains audio. And once you have one of those tabs open, this will be apparent. And when you click this, now you're going to see all the tabs that will be there that will be able to play music. So for example, on this particular tab that I have open, if I wanted to start playing it, and there we have Huey playing. If we come down here, I can open this one. And there we have Bob playing. So you can control all the tabs that have music or audio going by simply clicking this little button to the right here. And you'll see that on your Chrome browser. When you have a tab open, it'll automatically appear as long as the tab has audio in it. Pretty cool. And that's going to save my bacon, because otherwise you have to start closing tabs. You have no idea which tab is playing the music or audio. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. Don't forget the like and subscribe.